I'm not buying that in 2025. Hello ladies, today's video is pure fun. I'm sharing with you some things I am not buying in 2025. Now, you know, best laid intentions, right? I will try not to buy these things, but try not to hold me to it too tightly because we all slip up, we all have good plans, and then sometimes things don't go as planned. But I do think it's smart to kind of set in stone, or at least, you know, a little wiggle room maybe, but as much as possible set in stone some things that I'm just going to stay away from. For instance, even in my personal life, when it comes to nutrition, I have decided years ago that I am a person who does not eat candy bars. I cannot tell you the last time I bought or ate a candy bar. I just don't eat them. Now, if you handed me one and you said, eat this, absolutely I'd eat it. Do I love candy bars? Yeah, I do. But I just decided I don't buy candy bars and I don't eat them. Pretty much same thing with donuts. I don't eat donuts for the most part. I really don't. I'm just not a donut person. And I think it's good to have some of those things the same way when it comes to fashion purchases. I think that's going to save us a lot of money. It saves us some frustration when we're putting together our wardrobe, and it will save us a lot of frustration when we're trying to put together outfits that work for our real lifestyle, that work for our personal style, and that work for our body. And when you're trying to make outfits out of things like that, and yet you look in your closet and you have a lot of regretful purchases, that just doesn't work very well. Back at the end of 2024, I think it is, or maybe the beginning of 2025, I actually shared my most regrettable purchases in a blog post. I'll link you to that down below, to those regrettable purchases in 2024. I think we all have them. I was very real about it. I got a lot of feedback from a lot of readers who said, thank you so much for being real enough to say that even you make mistakes. Oh boy, even me. Heavens, yes. I make some big mistakes when it comes to purchasing clothes and accessories. I absolutely do. And that's a waste of money, but also it's just a frustration when you go into your closet. So I have made some decisions about some things, and I thought I would share those with you. These are things that I am not going to buy in 2025 so that I'll have a wardrobe that truly reflects my personal style, it meets my standards, and it works for my real lifestyle. Without further ado, let's get going on that list. Now, obviously, in fact, I should just count this as number 0 because this is so obvious. This is not part of my list. But obviously, I am not going to buy things that are not comfortable and things that do not fit. They don't feel good. They don't feel good on me. They have tags in the weird places, or they have seams in weird places, or they ride up my crotch or whatever. I don't have any time for that. You don't either, ladies. We need to determine we are not going to buy things that do not fit, that are not comfortable, and that do not feel good on our bodies. We're too old for that. We don't have to do that anymore. Instead, I think the key really is to look for clothes that absolutely do fit us, they are comfortable, and they feel good on our skin. Now, one of the keys there is I am in the process of losing some weight. I have lost a little bit. I'm already feeling trimmer. I feel better in my current clothes, but my goal is to go down a size, maybe 2, but at least go down 1 size. And so if I'm going to do that, that means I'm going to be changing sizes this year. But I am not buying anything that does not fit my body when I try it on. I'm not going to buy something in hopes that, hey, I'm going to lose enough weight to get down to it. I'm not going to buy things that are big and baggy on me. I'm just not going to buy things that don't fit my current body. That said, I do get a lot of questions about what do you do when you're losing weight? And maybe you too are losing weight, or you're in some other kind of transition of life this year, and you think, what do you do when you're about to make this transition, or you're about to be a different size? What do you do? So my tip to you is to have a capsule wardrobe. And in fact, in a coming video, I am going to be sharing with you how to build a capsule wardrobe and different reasons why to build a capsule wardrobe. And so that's simply having a wardrobe that will all mix and match. Maybe it's small, it's not huge, it's a smaller part of your wardrobe, or it's at least it's a temporary wardrobe, and it works for your body as you lose weight or as you go through a certain change in life, like maybe retirement or something. So that's coming, hang with me, but meanwhile, I'm not buying anything that doesn't fit or feel good or feel comfortable. But the first really thing that I've really had to make a decision about is I'm not buying anything that's not good quality. Now, what do we mean by good quality? Well, first of all, I have another video that I can link you to. I'll show it up here, but I'll also link it down in the description box where I talk about quality and how to spot quality, what is good quality, what are some of the signs of good quality to look for. So be sure to check out that video for sure if you need a refresher on that or if you're just not quite sure of how to know what good quality is. But when I say good quality, it doesn't mean it has to be expensive. I'm only going to buy expensive things, heaven forbid. But I do think I've got to raise the bar, and there's several reasons. For one thing, I think as we get older, quality matters more. So even if I need to have a smaller wardrobe, which at this point I do, I keep a pretty small personal wardrobe. You may see a lot of clothes here, but those things don't all make it into my personal wardrobe. This is kind of my work. And so, not kinda, it is. This is my work. So I show a lot more things here than what go into my personal wardrobe. And my personal wardrobe is fairly small and compact, and I keep it that way. And so I only let really good quality things go in there. First of all, those are the things that do feel good, and they fit well, and they flatter my body. Secondly, those are things that are made out of good fabrics, and so they breathe and they do feel soft on my skin, and they hold up to wear easily. They're durable, and they do something beyond just sit on my body. Sometimes they are breathable, or they're soft, or they have a nice drape. You know, those sorts of things. So I am looking for pieces that are good quality. Now let me say something about quality, because I get a question about this a lot, and a lot of people too, they're not complaining to me, they're just maybe airing their frustration that they've noticed. So some of the stores that you loved shopping seem to be going down in quality. Well, I've noticed that too, but I think there's a reason. I think it's because those stores are really struggling. You know, prices have just gone up all around. Prices have gone up in food, prices have gone up in shipping, prices have gone up in wages that companies, that businesses of all sizes have to pay their employees. Prices have gone up in fuel, of course. Prices have gone up in raw materials. So as all of those prices go up, then the prices have to go up in clothing. But these brands know that their loyal customers like you and me will only pay so much for their clothes. And so they have to compromise somewhere. And rather than lose customers, I think they lose some quality sometimes. So really it's up to us to make a decision. I was having this conversation recently with a follower through emails, and she and I agreed we'd rather have the quality and just buy less. But we communicate to the brands with our purchases, telling them really what kind of quality we'll put up with. So if you would like for your favorite brands to give you better quality, then you show them that through your purchases. That's just something to think about. That's a freebie as I continue in my list of things I'm not going to buy in 2025. The next thing I'm not going to buy in 2025 is boring basics. Yeah, we all need basics. We need button-up shirts, we need t-shirts, we need jeans, we need some solid colored trousers, we need a jacket or two, so we need some basics. But you know what? I used to think that basics had to be, well, basic. Really basic and kind of boring and utilitarian. But now I've realized that really the difference between a truly stylish woman and a woman who just kind of looks nice, like she looks nice, is having basics that are not boring. And so what do I mean by that? Well, what's the option? Instead, I'm going to buy basics like t-shirts and button-up shirts and jeans that are one of two things. They have to either be interesting or at least polished. Now let's take that little white t-shirt that I showed in a recent video or two. The little white t-shirt's a Banana Republic white t-shirt that works really nicely under sweaters because the collar sits up nice and high above the collar of the sweaters. That t-shirt is called, I think, like a shrunken polished t-shirt or a shrunken refined t-shirt. And you know what? That's what it is. It's a really polished t-shirt. It looks really smooth and beautiful. It has really nice seams. It just looks really nice. It fits close to the body, so you want to size up in it. I'll link it below, by the way. And they also have it in long sleeves. I have found, in fact, that Banana Republic does a really good job with polished basics. So instead of those boring basics, I'm going to buy basics that are either polished and or they are interesting. And by interesting, I mean maybe that has some interesting details. So a shirt, instead of just being blue, a blue button-up shirt, I might buy, I've shown this blue striped button-up shirt from me and M several times. It was pricey. The quality is amazing. It has French seams on the inside. It feels so good on the skin. It's a silk and cotton blend. So yeah, the quality is out the roof. But it's also interesting because it's beautifully striped. It has really nice sleeve cuffs. They're just very different from most. So those nice little details are going to make your outfits more interesting even when you keep them very minimal looking. So you don't have to add a lot of hoop and holler to your outfits to make it look stylish when you have interesting, polished basics. The next thing I'm not going to buy in 2025 are things that are not my style. Now, you know, this past year we went through a style series called Define Your Style, Refine Your Wardrobe, and there we learned how to define your style. In fact, I'll link you to a video that I did just recently about how to define your style. It's a really good video. It did not get nearly enough views because it is so packed full of really great information. But there I talked about having style angles and letting those style angles define your personal style. You get to name them, you get to claim them, nobody gets to thrust them on you. And my style angles are classic and elevated and effortless. That means I do not need things in my wardrobe that are fussy or just really girly or kind of extra looking, you know, like too much looking. Now, there is a fine line between girly and fussy and feminine. I still love feminine things, and I definitely think feminine things have a place in my closet. I want to look like a woman. I am a woman, and I want to look like one. So sometimes it really is a fine line trying to decide when I'm shopping, is this feminine or is it fussy and girly looking? Because hey, you may do that fussy girly thing and do it beautifully. You go, girl. But it's just not me. And so I have to draw a line in the sand, but I have to make sure I don't cross it. And I do encourage you to do the same thing, to think about your style angles, your personal style, and to decide right now at the beginning of 2025, I am not going to buy things that don't fit my style. They have no place in my closet. Okay, those have been kind of general, broad, sweeping kinds of things I'm not going to buy, but I'm going to get specific here. I am not going to buy any more full-length, straight-leg, slim-fit jeans, blue jeans. And let me tell you why. It's not because they're out of style or anything. I think classic straight-leg jeans truly are classic. They're not going anywhere, and you can wear them anytime, any year, and you're going to look in style. But I have plenty. I don't need really more than one pair. And I've got, actually, crazy enough, I ended up with 2 pair of the exact same jeans from Talbot's. The exact same full-length, straight-leg, slim-fit jean. And I do find that that particular silhouette of jean, while it is a classic, it does kind of tend to be one of those boring basics. It doesn't really add anything to my outfits. I think personally for me, I like a little bit looser fit. Still slim, still straight maybe, but not close to my body, standing out away from my body a little bit. I just feel like that kind of gives me a better shape, a better look, a better silhouette. And so that's the kind of jeans I'm leaning into, and I'm not buying any more of those slim, straight, full-length jeans. Do you have things like that in your closet that maybe you've accidentally even ended up with multiples of them? I used to be that way about khaki pants. I just kept buying khaki pants over and over and over, looking for that unicorn. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just a fruitless pursuit, and we need to go, you know what? Enough is enough already. And so maybe there are some things in your wardrobe that you need to realize, I need to stop looking for the perfect whatever and just say, this is enough. I'm good to go. Let's continue with jeans. The next kind of jeans I'm not going to buy anymore this year are jeans with distressing or heavy whiskering. Now, it's still very common to have some whiskering on your jeans, and especially I've noticed that the nicer jeans a lot of times have a little whiskering. All that really is supposed to do is make them look worn, they're your favorite jeans. You've worn them over and over, even though you just bought them. You know, they're just supposed to look like, hey, those must be her favorites. So there's nothing wrong with a little bit of whiskering, but boy, that excessive whiskering across the front can be very distracting. It actually kind of draws attention to a part of your body that you don't want to draw attention to, and it's just not flattering to me. So I need to stop that. It's hard because sometimes you find the jeans that fit really great, but they have that. And once again, I just gotta draw that line and decide not to cross it. And especially when it comes to distressing. I have had the distressing times, I've done the distressing jeans, I even had the big holes in my jeans, and I wore those for a while, but you know what? I'm just done. I have decided there's no age limit, so hey, if you wanna keep wearing them, you go right ahead. But for me, I've decided I'm done with distressed holey jeans. I'm also going to be very careful about not purchasing jeans with excessive fading in specific places. You know, a lot of times I see jeans that have a lot of fading on the front of the thighs or on the back of the rear, or on the rear. I guess that's where the rear is in the back. So those are not flattering to me. I already have big thighs, I already have a wide rear, so I don't need to draw attention to those places. You might want to take note that wherever your jeans are more faded, that's what draws attention. And so you don't want fading on the places that you don't want to draw attention to. In fact, what's really in right now with jeans is that consistent look. Now, you're going to continue to see jeans with you know, very, I'd say, like intentional fading in particular places, and sometimes it's really odd. I'm like, why'd they do that? I don't know. But I'm just not going to buy them. And like I said, that's hard because you find a pair of jeans, maybe they look just like, that's the silhouette I want, you know, that's the length I want. But I just need to not even try those on because I'm not doing myself a favor to have fading in those places. And maybe you need to think about that too. And then there is a jacket silhouette that is so popular right now, and I know so many of you love it, and I love it too. I think it is beautiful on women. It looks great. I keep seeing them, and like I'm panting like a dog. You know, like, oh, I want that. And I buy it, and then it just doesn't work for me. And I've had one from J. Crew, a beautiful red one sitting in my closet that I've not worn one time. And what is it? It's a lady jacket. I know. I hear the sigh, the collective sigh across YouTube because lady jackets are beautiful, and I see them working beautifully on some women, and they look so alluring to me on the websites and in the catalogs. But every time I buy them, they just don't work for me. I think it's because I do have that hourglass shape, and so I need to draw attention to my waistline. That's one of my best features. It's not like extremely defined, but I do have a defined waistline. And a lot of the lady jackets are cropped, of course, and they are boxy. And so I kind of get that straight look when I wear the lady jacket. It doesn't help me to accentuate my figure any. So it just doesn't, and also it just doesn't, maybe it's that fussy girly thing too. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't fit my personal style aesthetic. So maybe it kind of goes back to also just not buying things that are not my personal style. And I think I've decided, as much as I love the lady jackets, I love the idea of them. They're just beautiful garments, in fact, but they don't work for me. And so I'm just going to give up trying. I'm just not going to buy one this year. You see if I make it. You let me know. We'll get to the end of the year. And hey, if you remember, you can certainly remind me if I made it or not. That would be great. So those are the things I'm not buying in 2025. I would love to hear if you have also made a list or just determined even one or two things that you are not going to buy this year. Let me know. I would love to hear. Remember, let's keep the comments nice and gracious, because what you don't love, someone else may love, as I've said several times today. So we don't want to step on somebody else's toes just because we're not going to buy something. But I would love to hear from you, see if you've made some plans for your purchases for fashions in 2025. Hey, very soon now I'm going to be sharing some spring trends and also some spring colors. We are fast moving into spring and I'm so excited about it. So we will start previewing those things in the next few videos. Thanks so much for joining me today, ladies. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, you know the drill. Subscribe to this channel. That would mean the world to me. And I will see you next Wednesday.